There is, besides the spiritual dynamic of why the enemies of Christianity band together to stand against Christianity and to help Islam, there is a cultural that is also involved with the spiritual aspect. If you, for example, Nancy Pelosi has recently named a Muslim to be on the permanent House Select Committee on Intelligence, Andrea Carson of Indiana. Now, this was a political move on her part. In other words, what are the Republicans going to do? Say, no, he shouldn't be on because he's a Muslim? So then they play right into her hands of Islamophobia. Another angle that is at least worth discussing is that he's a bad Muslim. There are good Muslims and there are bad Muslims. Muhammad said that there are people who quote the Quran like a bird sings a song, but just as an arrow passes through the bird's throat. All right? The words come out of their mouth but have no meaning, and they're not true to their religion. Muhammad said, kill somebody who changes his religion. Muhammad repeatedly spoke against, and so did his followers, the caliphate, the early rightly guided caliphs, spoke against those who would not help Islam against infidels. In other words, someone made a profession of faith in Islam. There is no God but God, and Muhammad is his prophet. There's the profession of faith, the shahada. But they weren't committed to jihad. They weren't committed to killing Jews or Christians at the command of Muhammad or the other subsequent caliphs. So, as I've been thinking about this, the picking of this man, maybe he's a bad Muslim. Maybe he really would help root out what we would call Muslim terrorists, who are in fact devout Muslims. Maybe he's like Muhammad said, that bird that maybe will quote the Quran, but it has no meaning for him. I don't know. But I digress. If I asked a room full of Christians, please explain to me why the Nicene Creed is so critical to all Christians, Catholic, Orthodox, and all Protestant denominations. If I said, I want you please to explain to me how come it is a life and death matter for the church. Most Christians would not know what led up to the Council of Nicaea, what was at stake at the Council of Nicaea theologically, and why it's so critical to Christians today, and why it's even critical in the war with Islam. We have in Christianity what are called Christmas and Easter Christians. We have people who are truly baptized. We have people that have been born again, to use whatever language you are comfortable with. Confirmed, who have gotten saved, who've made a profession of faith, who have been baptized, whatever you want to say, that really are marked by Christ as Christ's own. Okay? These people culturally are Christian, but they would not be able to defend the dual nature of Christ. They would not be able to explain why the Council of Nicaea is so critical. They might not even know that one of the bishops, St. Nicholas, punched another bishop in the face over the dual nature of Christ. When I was in the Middle East, traveling around, looking at historic sites, I asked 10 or 12 different Muslims, when I felt I was safe, did you know that Muhammad killed people with his own hand? Only 2 people that I asked knew. All the rest, number 1, did not know, and number 2, were indignant that I would even suggest such a thing. They're cultural Muslims. They're not devout. They don't understand their own history any more than a lot of Christians understand the Council of Nicaea. And so that dynamic exists. And the devout Muslims who are carrying out what we call acts of terror are actually following Muhammad's advice in dealing with nominal Muslims, bad Muslims, Muslims that take Jews and Christians for their friends, Muslims who will help the infidel against the devout Muslim. That's why they feel at liberty to kill their fellow Muslims in these terrorist attacks. Hello, friend. This is our new television studio, music studio, and documentary studio. Almost done. We're so close. It's been months and months of labor. Volunteer labor, labor done really inexpensively, people pitching in, bringing lumber that we cut literally from another state. We are excited to use this place for God's kingdom, for truth, for justice, for the fight for innocent lives. And if you believe in this show, it takes something like this to do it. We actually have to have a facility. We have to have the right tools, the right weapons to wage philosophical and theological and cultural and political war. So if you're blessed by this show, I'm asking you to go to our website right now and make as large a contribution as you can so we can buy the equipment that we need to finish this project. Thank you.